everyone, my name is Jessica Musgrove. For those who are new to my YouTube channel, I am an author, a singer, an actress, a wife, and a bonus mom, and most importantly, a follower of Jesus. And so I am popping on here to share with you about my first book, my debut novel, which is a Christian fantasy titled Evergreen and the Silver Tree. It is geared for middle grade, ages 8 to, I would say, like 14, but really any age, anyone who loves fantasy, anyone who loves the works of C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, and even other modern day fantasy writers like Laurel Thomas, Nadine Brandes, Brandon Sanderson. There are so many fantasy authors. If you love fantasy, if you love dragons, if you love talking creatures and gnomes and just colorful forests, this book is for you. So to tell you a little bit about my book, it is called Evergreen and the Silver Tree. The main character is Evergreen, and 10 years after the disappearance of her first grade classmates, she is haunted by the cold case. Her friends, her first grade classmates disappear without a trace, and it's never explained. So 10 years later, she is driven by the persistent echoes of a boy's scream for help calling out to her. And she's so shaken, rattled by this scream for help, that she ventures down to the cavern where her friends vanished. And it is in the darkness of this cavern that she finds a ruby portal that thrusts her into the enchanted realm of Ezra City, where she meets friendly gnomes who live in tree houses, plant-like prophetic sprites, mountain muses, talking sparrows, and goblins hiding in the beguiling forest. While there, she meets her friend, she finds her friends, and she's overcome with joy until she realizes that a tyrant dragon king has erased their real memories and replaced them with false memories of a life never lived. And it is her task to fulfill an ancient prophecy, lead all creatures in a battle for freedom, and restore the truth to her friends. So she has to overcome a lot of fear. She's gripped by fear because the tyrant dragon king is ruthless, and he also demands that all creatures worship him under penalty of death. And she is this character, Evergreen is this character who doesn't even know how to hold a sword, let alone actually use one. And so it all is going to come down to, at the end of it all, is she going to let fear rule over her, or is she going to conquer her fear and step up to the plate and become the warrior that her savior has called her to be? So this is definitely family friendly. It also has a romantic enemies to lovers romance trope. If you know what that is, it is a very fun romantic trope to play around with, enemies to lovers. She meets Paladin's, the Dragon King's faithful servant, and she's disgusted by him at first until she realizes that maybe he is the only one who can help her unravel the lies. And so, it has themes of truth versus lies, light versus darkness, and hope over fear. And so what I'm going to do now is just read you the first, not the first chapter, but the prologue of my book. And if you like, what you hear and you want to subscribe and follow me, that would be awesome. If you are captivated by the book, if this seems like it's your cup of tea, then you can definitely go on Amazon, type in Evergreen and the Silver Tree and my name, Jessica Musgrove, and you can purchase a copy of the book. You can purchase the ebook, or you can purchase the paperback. So without further ado, here is the prologue of Evergreen and the Silver Tree. The man with silver hands stood motionless at the foot of Kadosh Hayes Mountain. The fog belonging to the rugged, breathless climb awaiting him swirled and danced about him, as though it were beckoning him forward, as though it were an excited child that didn't know when to settle down. You have no time to waste, the sprite's voice echoed in his mind. It had been a shock, standing in the depths of Ezra Forest a few hours prior to now, surrounded by the familiar trees of royal blue bark and jagged leaves of red and violet. The sprites were nothing but cowards, he had told himself, hiding themselves away for thousands of years with their magic, remaining in safety while everyone else suffered. Yet the sprite did not appear to be a coward. She looked like a warrior, but the man with silver hands knew better, which begged the question, why go on this sprite's quest? Madeline, the sprite had whispered, and that had been enough. Now it was 1 month later, the man with silver hands stepped into the forbidden amethyst cavern and set his gaze upon the ruby portal leading to another world, his world. 9 years, he reminded himself, his stomach tied in knots. 9 years, 39 victims. Madeline, trapped here because of me. The man with silver hands lifted his right arm and brought the emerald crown he'd retrieved from the mountain's peak eye, at eye level. He marveled at the tiny bits of emerald stone speckled around the thin golden band, like sunlight braided through spring grass. Even through his gloved hands, he felt the pulsing power of the emeralds quicken like a heartbeat, eager to fulfill its mission. He recalled the stone mountain muse's words as she had handed him the crown. With a voice like crushed gravel, she had said, "If only you knew love, if only you knew him." Love, he had repeated. The word tasted rotten in his mouth. It's not real. Oh, but it is, she had cried. He is. You simply serve the wrong master. The emerald crown released a high-toned hum that jolted him back to his task. The man with silver hands whispered his one-word message into the stones. Help. The only word his lips could form. Sweat dripped from his brow as he removed his gloves and dropped them to the floor, disgusted by the sight of his silver hands. Silver hands, tougher than armor, hands that could not feel pain or warmth. He turned his attention to the sharp-edged amethyst thorn protruding from the right side of the portal. Fortunately, the silver coating his flesh stopped right above his wrist. He pricked his arm upon the amethyst thorn. Blood trickled to the floor as the ruby door clicked and swung open. His heart raged inside his chest. Freedom lay in the immense darkness just beyond the threshold, right within his reach, but he couldn't will his feet to cross over. In one breath, he threw the emerald crown through the portal and slammed the door. In one blink, the ruby door vanished. Gone. Just gone. With wide eyes, the man with silver hands sank to his knees. Bitter hatred filled his lungs, and he beat the surrounding amethyst crystals with his fists. Pound. Worthless. You are worthless. Pound, pound, pound. Not one scratch penetrated through his silver flesh, through those metallic hands that made him less human, that made him what he truly was, a monster. His eyes burned. Something inside him stirred. For a moment, his entire body seized with a sharp pain. His master called him. The man with silver hands stood. Best not to keep the great King Paladin waiting. Silverman. He reminded himself of the slave name his master had given him. A hard name to match his hard hands, to match his hard heart. So guys, that is the short prologue before the real adventure, true adventure. I don't want to say real adventure. This is part of the real adventure, but this is a prologue that gets you into chapter 1 of the story, and yeah, it's a fun adventure. I like it. So I'm just popping on here to share that with you and say, if this intrigues you, please consider purchasing this book. Please consider reading it and even leaving a review on my YouTube channel, on Amazon. It always helps an author out who is just starting to kind of crawl up the totem pole. And above it all, really, just I want this book to glorify the Lord. So it spreads hope. It spreads the light of Jesus. It's not shy about that. I wasn't shy in making this a Christian book with Christian themes. And so, yeah, but it's also a fun adventure. And so definitely one that if you're a parent of young kids, you might consider purchasing this book and even reading it aloud, and just all kind of digging into the fantasy together. But anyway, I'm sharing this with you. Here is my book. this camera is not really, is showing like, you know, the reverse version because it's like a mirror. But this is Evergreen and the Silver Tree, and you can find it on Amazon. Thank you so much for watching. Click like, subscribe, follow. I will try to post at least monthly vlogs for you guys, and I also want to start doing more book reviews, and I might even read some more chapters here and there of my book too. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.